Hello and welcome to Mason Cable News. I hope everyone is having a great spring. My name is Jeffrey Carberry.
And I'm Shareen Bhatia. Our first story tonight is about the Visiting Filmmakers series, which is graciously hosted by Mason's Film Department. We got to speak to their latest visiting filmmakers, Margaret Brown and Kern Jackson, on their film Descendant, which follows the survivor of the Clotilda, the last ship that brought enslaved Africans to the United States in reclamation of their story. We also got to speak to the organizer of the series, Dr. Cynthia Fuchs.
Typically, we do bring in people and film projects that cover a diverse array of content and different approaches to filmmaking. We like to bring in films that are unconventional or that challenge conventions. Sometimes that's storytelling conventions, and sometimes that's technical or formal conventions. But certainly film students, if they're able to have an exchange with the filmmakers, they are able to understand the process of putting together a project, because that takes time and effort. And they can also ask about how to, if you're making a documentary or you're making a fiction film, what are the different steps that go into each particular production, how to put together how much time you have to spend with your subjects if you're making a documentary film, and certainly the kinds of questions and the kinds of archival work and research that you need to do. I do like to bring in filmmakers who have sort of personal stakes in what they're doing, and again, documentary filmmakers will often have that because they have to spend so much of their personal time and their personal finances making their films. And this particular film, it tells a story that's so important about recovering history and making it visible to people, to lifting up communities, to helping communities recognize each other and themselves, and especially at this time in history in the United States, where history is and all kinds of representations, including films and including books, are at stake. We're at risk of losing some of these. I think it's good to pull them to the surface and let people see them, and talk about them.
This is a film that's about where we're both from, so I would start with where you're from. And Kern is a folklorist, and he's sort of comes from a tradition of just interviewing your ancestors, right?
Yeah, interviewing your elders and getting a sense and letting them tell you what the good projects are, right? And not, everything's intergenerational, and old people aren't just a muse; they have a certain amount of wisdom they have to provide you. And I think in part that's what makes this particular project successful, is you have people from different generations coming together on film to provide an understanding of this particular dynamic around this town called Africatown. Out of a seasoned friendship and collaboration, man, we were able, I think all of us were able to do a little bit bigger, deeper dive, more intimate dive, right? With shorthand, didn't have to sit down and talk a whole lot about certain types of things.
It's just deeply personal work for us. And we're part of a cohort of a larger group of people who are all doing kind of activist, creative work. So that's really fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. If you do transparent work, good things will happen to you. If you do work that's prescient, you'll get somebody's going to watch it, Mm-hmm. And I'm blown away by the number of people who watched it and found it useful.
The last film in this series in spring is April 6th, and that will be an online event. And that film is called Beba, and it's a documentary, sort of a memoir documentary by Rebecca Hunt. And that is an amazing film as well. And she will be speaking with our host and taking questions from attendees from 6 to 7 on April 6th. That's a Thursday.
Mason unveils Undocumonth. They are hosting a myriad of events throughout the month of April to empower, distress, and educate for undocumented folk and people who want to learn more about their initiatives alike. Events include a talk with the Native American and Indigenous Alliance, NAIA, an Instagram scavenger hunt, monologues for undocumented students to share their experiences, a kiosk in the Johnson Center for more people to learn about their organization, ally training, dinner, and more. Follow their Instagram at Undocumason to keep up to date and more.
We continue to report on the controversial decision of Glenn Youngkin being announced as Mason's spring commencement speaker. Since the last BLACC town hall, there have been developments in student advocacy. starting with the protest that began in Sub 1 Quad, going to Merton Hall, where students were chanting in opposition to Youngkin and his actions towards Black and trans students. President Gregory Washington replied to these protests on Twitter, saying, quote, "Students exercising their First Amendment rights here at George Mason U. I support it, even when the focus is on a decision that I have made that some don't agree with." But this hasn't stopped the onslaught of protests and criticisms which the students have laid out themselves at the Board of Visitors meeting, which happened today. Here's the footage of their criticisms at the meeting.
We, a majority of the student body of George Mason University, come to you all once again disappointed, devalued, and disturbed by leadership of this university.
As all of you know, George Mason University announced Glenn Youngkin as the selected 2023 commencement speaker for our university. Youngkin has a history of passing or promoting racist, homophobic, and transphobic policies. He has advocated for the eradication of teaching factual, complete history in our K-12 schools, opposed same-sex marriage, and proposed policies that would limit access to healthcare for transgender individuals. He has also made comments that are offensive and derogatory towards disabled students.
These views and actions are not aligned with the values of our institution. Values including our students coming first and diversity being our strength. As a university that loves to pride itself on diversity, inclusivity, and equality, we cannot allow someone with such harmful beliefs to address our graduates on such a monumental day of our lives. Must ask ourselves again, what is the difference between diversity and discrimination?
Commencement Day is a time where we must celebrate the great accomplishments of our graduating class, my class. We cannot allow the actions of the president of our institution and leaders of the Commonwealth who have proven not to care about the freedom of education and expression taint the spirit of our community nor the significance of our big day.
Student government hosts a variety of initiatives to enrich our campus, one of which is Maintain Mason, a weekly event where student government personnel and students team up to clean up trash around campus. We have Chair of University Services of the Student Senate, Colin McCauley, and Undersecretary of Sustainability, Sebastian Silvestre, to inform us more about the initiative and other things that student government is pushing towards. Hi, I'm here with Colin McCauley, Chair of University Services for the Student Senate, and Undersecretary for Sustainability for Student Government, Sebastian Silvestre, to talk about Maintain Mason today. So we're going to start off with the question, what is University Services and what do you do with University Services?
Sure. So University Services is a department within the student government. Our focus is on these departments, and it's a long list. It's facilities, IT, sustainability, housing, parking, dining, student centers, Eagle Bank Arena, print services, mail services, the Board of Visitors, administration, and the Staff Senate. It's a long list of departments, and it's a big job, but that's our job, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah, so there's not much that you don't cover on that. But one of them that you mentioned was Maintain Mason. You came in to talk about Maintain Mason. Could you tell us a little bit more about what you do with Maintain Mason and what exactly is it?
Sure, yes. So the Maintain Mason is one of our programs that we run within the department. It's a campus cleanup program that we do bi-weekly. We have student senators and any students that want to be involved through either the Sustainability Volunteer Portal or an RSO that wants to join us. And we just pick a place on campus. We spend 2 hours and we pick up trash, we pick up recycling, we sort it, and then we throw it out into the garbage cans. And afterwards, we weigh the waste, we see how much we collected. This semester, we collected around 160 pounds worth of garbage on campus and about 15 pounds worth of recycling. And we do this because we believe in community service and we want to make sure that our campus is clean. Some places that we've gotten some cool collaborations with recently was the Kennedy Center. They had a plastics art installation. So we contributed by some of the recycled plastics we had. We sent them over to them so they could be included in the project. Coming up, we're having a collaboration with Mason Recreation. We'll be cleaning around the AFC in the creek there as it's gotten very dirty, and they wanted to help us out as we were planning on getting there. And we're also collaborating with Mason Hillel, who reached out to us, and they wanted to join us for campus cleanup as well. So if any organizations are interested in joining us, we have a core group of people that really like to do it, and we do it every Friday at 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. And we meet at the Student Involvement Office in the Hub.
Yeah, so you talked about some events that you've been doing recently. Are there any ones that are coming up soon or any ones that are in the future that students can look forward to participate in?
Sure. So coming up, our big one is the farmers market. It's going to be run by the student government. We're partnering with Sodexo this time around. We're going to have a lot of different student organizations there, like the Alpha Kappa Chi, which is an environmental fraternity. They'll be running a thrift shop. We're going to have some off-campus vendors, recycling vendors, that are going to sort of give an expo about recycling within Fairfax. And there's going to be vendors from all around the Fairfax area, providing food and promoting local businesses. So that's a big one that's coming up. There's a sustainability project walk. We're going to walk around the campus with University Sustainability, checking out all the interesting places that they're working on that are looking to improve the campus, including places like the Rain Garden or the Innovation Food Forest. We also have an art installation that's going to be put up that the student government is helping contribute to, and that's going to be in the Johnson Center towards the middle of April, so you'll be able to check that one out. And yeah, so those are a few events that are coming up. We have many more. If you want to look at our Mason Student Government Instagram, it's Mason SG. We're going to make sure that they're well advertised and that you know where to go when you want to join.
So I guess the last question for you both is, what is your favorite part of doing this, and why participate in this, and why did you choose to do this, and why would you encourage others to do it?
I do it because I believe in public service. I believe it's what I want to do with my life. I believe it's a great thing to do for your community. The jobs that I get to do, like running this campus cleanup, it allows me to connect with the campus and meet a lot of really cool people that are interested in the same things I am. We have a lot of different programs too, like the Mason Stewards program that we do that generates work orders around the campus. If there's broken chairs, if broken toilet, lights are out in a building, there's bad Wi-Fi, Mason Stewards, we try and be proactive, get those things generated, and being able to serve the campus like that is really why I'm in it. What about you?
Yeah, it's a great way to interface with students who care for sustainability and care to give back to the campus. I mean, it's honestly one of my favorite pastimes. I look forward to it every Friday. And yeah, if you're interested, you should really get involved.
Well, thank you very much, Colin and Sebastian, for joining us here today. We very much appreciate it. We hope to see some more people out helping you with your Maintain Mason, and thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yep,
Thank you.
absolutely.
The Mason Jazz Workshop concert is 2 weeks away on Monday, April 17th at 8 p.m. in Harris Theater. The Jazz Workshop explores the intersection of improvisation and composition in the traditions of the great dance and studio jazz bands. The concert will feature compositions by jazz musicians such as Duke Ellington, Charles Mingus, Bobby Watson, Freddie Hubbard, and Michael Philip Mosman. It's free and open to the public for all to attend.
April is Financial Literacy Month, so the Center of Wellbeing at Mason is hosting their annual Money Smart Day on April 12th. The day is filled with virtual and in-person annual financial literacy conferences lasting from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. to help you find financial balance in life. This year's sessions include topics on buying your first home, health insurance, protecting yourself from scammers, loan repayment, salary negotiation, and more. Sign up on Mason 360. Here is Shreyas to give you the weather update for the upcoming week.
Hello Mason, hello Mason Nation. Today we are looking at the weather, which will start over here coincidentally. Today it was really warm, it was really nice outside with a high of 80, and it's gonna get pretty nice tonight with the low of 60. And then it's gonna continue with a good weather tomorrow, getting a little bit hotter at the high of 86, and staying with that little hotter theme with a low of 69 towards the night. Then we're gonna go on to Thursday, which things will change considerably. We're gonna have storms with still a high heat, so we're still gonna be at a high of 82 and a low of 50, but it will be thunderstorming pretty hard. But then when we go on to Friday, it'll just be cloudy, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a high of 62 and a low of 43. And the sun will finally start coming out onto Saturday, where it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 59, a low of 40. Sunday and Monday, though, we're going to come back to the good weather that we've had earlier this week, with a high of 63 on Sunday and a low of 43, being a little bit chilly. But on Monday, it'll be a high of 67 and a low of 47, continuing that good weather for the rest of the week and things that we can enjoy and to look forward to. Have a great week, Patriots. And now back to Jeffrey and Shareen.
I-Week is this week, and there will be a host of different performances and exhibits for people to still attend throughout the week. There are many RSOs that are hosting their own big events, including the Black Student Alliance's fashion show, the Chinese Cultural Club's Bubble Tea Social, the Latin Student Association's The Real Kizma, the Italian Club's Dinner, the Korean Student Association's Culture Festival, and more. Events that have already happened include the Africa Night by the African Student Association and the Native American and Indigenous Alliance's Expo, which took place this weekend. For dates and more information, visit iweek.gmu.edu/events. MCN will be on site to record live this year's International Dance Competition, which will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday at the Center for the Arts. Tune in to watch some great acts compete. Shreyas will now also give you the sports update for the week.
We're starting off with big news, Mason Nation. The new head coach for the men's basketball team has been selected. Tony Skinn, who is a key starter for the Mason team that went to the Final Four in 2006, is returning back after coaching college basketball for nearly a decade. Some teams that Skinn has coached include Seton Hall, Ohio State, and most recently, Maryland. Though this will be his first head coach job, after only previously serving as an assistant coach. GMU Athletics Director Nina Rogers says, quote, that he's an elite recruit, well-connected, and well-respected. We are excited to see the future of our basketball program under the guidance of Tony Skinn. Now to softball. The GMU softball team split their Sunday doubleheader with Fordham losing the first game 5-6 and winning the series finale 3-1. This is the first time that the softball team has won a series against Fordham, and this run continues a third consecutive win to start conference play this season. The game marked the team's 99th steal on the year, creating an all-time steals record, with 19 regular season games still remaining. The previous record of 96 steals on the year stood for nearly 20 years when it was broken on Sunday. The Patriots will host Towson at the George Mason Softball Complex on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And on baseball, the baseball team split a doubleheader against Rhode Island last Saturday. Starter Ben Shields struck out a season-high 14 batters over 7 innings, which named him Atlantic 10 Co-Pitcher of the Week. Sophomore catcher Connor Dykstra and first baseman Reese Woody hit a home run to lead the Patriots to a 7-6 win. The Rams, with an early lead, won the nightcap 8-4 in the evening series. The Patriots ended up winning the series after defeating Rhode Island 5-0, and now they travel to Washington, D.C. today to face Georgetown for the second time this season, where they'll hope to come out as victors. The men's volleyball team sweep Princeton in New Jersey in straight sets on Thursday, taking them down 25-22 twice and 25-18. This was after a loss to the Tigers last weekend, showing the willingness of the team to get back and fight hard to dominate this week. The team will now host Penn State on Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 5 p.m. at the Rack. Now on to tennis. It wasn't just the softball and baseball teams that faced Fordham this weekend, it was also the men's tennis team, who won their second consecutive A10 contest in a 4-3 thriller against the Rams. The Patriots are looking to keep this hot streak going onto Saturday versus Navy in Fairfax. The GMU rowing team is getting into the groove this season, and they're finally showing gains in their competitive performances when the varsity and second varsity placed second in this week's competition in Steel City. Head coach Joseph Richards says that this week they, quote, were able to improve in significant ways. The Patriot rowing team will be back in action next Saturday at the Murphy Cup in Philadelphia. The women's track and field team competed in the Colonial Relays at the College of William & Mary on Sunday. The standout performances by the Patriots were in the field events, where Robert Keaston won silver in discus, Abigail Weening won first in high jump with an incredible 1.61 meters, and Ryan Lightbourne placed first in the triple jump with also a very impressive 13.75 meter jump. Now onto Outside Mason, where March Madness is concluded. This year's the year's biggest basketball championship has come to a close, and the University of Connecticut bested the San Diego State Aztecs 76-59. The game never really let up for the Huskies, who dominated the Aztecs in every stretch of the game. UConn center Adama Sanogo and guards Jordan Hawkins and Tristan Newton put up a combined 51 points, being almost undefendable at times. This wraps up a tournament filled with upsets and heartbreak, but the Huskies have more than proven that they're worthy of being this year's champions. That's all for sports. Now we'll go back to Shareen and Jeffrey.
The Board of Visitors met for today's session titled Continuing Education. They discussed many topics, but chief among all would be the 2 proposed tuition increases, one of a flat $300 increase and the other a proposed 3% increase.
Mason is proposing a flat $300 tuition increase for all full-time students, regardless of level or residency. The proposed tuition increase is required to support base budget operations. As Deb alluded to, if Mason receives our funding request of $18 million from the Commonwealth, we will eliminate the tuition increase for in-state undergraduates this year.
So we've recommended a 3% mandatory student fee increase, $111 for a full-time student. And this supports a multitude of activities that you can see there, activities and services. And a big area of focus is student transportation. We've got a lot of increases there, both from a contractual perspective and also in providing additional accessibility to our students, more of whom are starting to take the shuttles and buses, and we're starting to build that as an example for next year. And then we have the maintenance and operations of all of our services. So this is truly for students, and we're generally lower than other universities in the area.
Though the increases are touted to be very beneficial, it has not been without its criticism. The rising cost of tuition has been the talk of many student and political circles. Many students can't afford to pay, and the costs of student loan repayment haunt alumni far after they graduate. Jeffrey, do you think that these increases will result in a benefit for the students?
No, I don't think it will do any benefit for the students' pockets. We're all paying up increase for everything from food to gas, so I don't think anything in terms of tuition increase will help. Hopefully, if they do increase it, it'll go towards the right stuff and not the wrong stuff in the university. But I don't think anybody's in the mood to pay any more increase right now. How about you?
I absolutely agree, especially with the state our economy is in today. I think that it's really inconvenient timing for tuition to be raised, so I would like it to not.
Thank you for tuning in, Patriots. You can keep up to date with news on and off campus if you follow us on Instagram at MCN, on TV, Twitter, and Facebook at Mason Cable Network, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jeff Carberry.
And I'm Shareen Bhatia. Have a great rest of the week, Patriots.